The Sikosky CH-54 Tarhe, famously known as the SKYCRANE, is a heavy-lift helicopter designed by Sikosky Aircraft for the U.S. Army, first flying in 1962. Its distinctive open-frame fuselage is optimized for carrying large external payloads, which gave it its nickname, the Flying Crane. During the Vietnam War, the CH-54 proved invaluable for logistical support, airlifting, artillery, bulldozers, other helicopters, and even dropping massive 10,000-pound daisy cutter bombs to clear landing zones. It could also carry modular people pods for troop transport, mobile hospitals, or command posts. Powered by two turboshaft engines, initially the Pratt & Whitney T-73P1 and later the T-73P700, the CH-54 could lift up to 25,000 pounds. It had a crew of 3, including an out-facing pilot to assist with precise loading and unloading operations. Though retired from the U.S. military service in 1990, many CH-54s and their civilian counterpart, the S-64 SKYCRANE, now manufactured by SKYCRANE, continue to operate worldwide. They are widely used for heavy lift construction, timber harvesting, erecting transmission towers, and most notably area firefighting with large fixed tank or buckets. The SKYCRANE also holds several aviation records, including for altitude. How y'all folks doing this fine day? Skater here. at the cable company. I'm so glad you stopped in to see me today. Today we're going over the Sikosky CH-54 Tarhe. It is an American twin-engine heavy lift helicopter designed by Sikosky Aircraft for the United States Army. It is named after Tarhe, an 18th century chef of the Wyandotte Indian tribe, whose nickname was the Crane. The civilian version is the Sikosky S-64 SKYCRANE. Work on what would become the CH-54 can be traced back to Sikosky's early activities with SKYCRANE helicopters, particularly the piston-engine Sikosky S-60 of the late 1950s. Following the end of the Korean War, the United States Army sought to procure a successor to the Sikosky CH-37 Mojave, an earlier piston-engine heavy-lift helicopter. Being aware of the needs, Sikosky were keen to fulfill it. The company was already working on the Sikosky S-64 SKYCRANE, a civilian-oriented heavy-lift rotorcraft that was designed specifically for the purpose of carrying large payloads externally. The development of the military-configured derivative was viewed as a natural option. While Sikosky were quick to recognize the advantages of adopting turboshaft propulsion, there were no suitable engines of that type initially available. Thus, it had to work with the American engine manufacturer Pratt & Whitney to modify their JT-12 turbojet to produce one. One inactive feature for any helicopter of the era was the incorporation of an automatic flight control system, effectively a fly-by-wire arrangement. This feature enables the aft-facing crew member to control the rotorcraft's pitch, roll, and yaw with 10% control authority, along with an altitude hold function. It was also praised for being relatively easy to fly under instrument flight rules, the IFR. Considerable attention was paid to the fuelage design, particularly to minimizing weight and maintenance requirements. The landing gear was designed to kneel to make loading easier, as well as to ease operations from sloped surfaces. From the onset, Sikosky sought to enable the type to carry as diverse a range of cargoes as possible, leading to the incorporation of fitting for the carriers or barges, and of a specifically designed multi-purpose people pod that was suited for use for personal transport, paratroop operations, and even as a mobile hospital or a mobile command post. On 9th of May 1962, the first of 3 prototypes performed its maiden flight. It was subsequently tested by the U.S. Army at Fort Benning, while the other 2 underwent an evaluation in West Germany. During June 1963, it was announced that the U.S. Army had placed an order for an initial 6 helicopters, designating it as the CH-54A. The first of these was officially accepted on the 30th of June 1963. Following a relatively brief period of testing and evaluation, the CH-54 was quickly put into active use in Vietnam. Early on, the type had demonstrated itself to possess unrivaled performance in some aspects. As of 2014, it continues to hold the helicopter record for highest altitude at level flight at 36,000 feet, which is set in 1971, as well as the fastest climb, which is 10, 20, and 30,000 feet. On 20 April 1965, a CH-54A equipped with a people pod lifted 90 people, comprising its crew of 3 and 87 combat-equipped troops. This was the largest number of people to be lifted by a single helicopter at that time. I seen one of those pods when I was doing the history on this. I seen one of them pods. It's pretty neat how they can sit there and have a hospital. It just can be a communication thing. Really awesome. The ACH-54A carrying a Daisy Cutter parachute bomb type. A heavy lift cargo helicopter. Its manufacturer was the Sikosky Aircraft, Erickson, 1992. Its status is retired. Primary user was the United States Army. Number built was 105. The history of it, its flight was the 9th of May 1962. It retired in 1970 U.S. Army. and 1993 the National Guard. The variant is the S-64 SKYCRANE. This right here is the CH-54A Tarhe, carrying a pair of UH-1 Huey utility helicopters. See my crude drawing? Here's a picture of a CH-54B carrying an M55-1 Sheridan tank, Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. Here's another one, the Sikosky SKYCRANE CH-54B with landing gear modified for soft ground. Pretty cool. Well, there you go. There's a little history on it. What an amazing aircraft. They can pick up a lot. If you know anything about this, leave it in the comments. Tell us what you know about it. I appreciate every one of you stopping in to see me. Come on back and see me again. Hit that like button. Share me out. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Gator's here. All right? Gator at the cable company. He wants to see you. All right? Come on back and see me. Bye-bye for now. Live long and prosper. See you next time.